Hey, what's up, guys? So I just completed week week 3 of my first block. So things went pretty well. What I wanted to cover is kind of go a little more in a bit of details in terms of my usage of RP, which I mentioned in a previous video. So in terms of how I gauge RP and how I use it towards my training to meet my personal goals and kind of use it in terms of my progression and how I increase my lifts week on week out. So basically, I used the main RTS kind of chart. It's kind of like rainbowish color looking chart that gives you kind of percentages that you would hit and what RP it would be for each lift. For example, 100% would be RP 10, so on and so forth. It just gives you a kind of guidelines and a template that I've been using for God knows how long now, a year over definitely. But obviously I took a break from RP when I went back into a more structured in terms of volume training, because I actually used to do the Bulgarian method, which is kind of all based on RP. You kind of come in, you hit a heavy single based on your RP, then you do some back-offs for percentages, and then you just do a rowing movement or a back movement to kind of keep the shoulders healthy and the back moving. So that's pretty much it. So the table, the way it's structured, and even on their website, when they kind of give a definition of the RP, is it goes from 10, obviously top RP, down to 6.5, and it doesn't really go below that because apart from warm-ups, they don't really advise you to drop below 6.5 or even 7 in training, because that wouldn't be enough intensity, I guess. So that is not something that people work on unless you're doing dynamic effort or some speed work, that is. So based on that, I've decided to kind of plan my linear progression or progressive overload on all of my movements based on the RPE for each final set. So let's say I do 3 sets of 6 for the volume. If the first set of 6 is a 7, then I would increase by, I think I decided as a 7 it would be by 5 kilos for the next week. So pretty much RP 10, same weight next week, because just not ready to increase, and then even kind of see how that feels if that was too high. RP 9, increase by 2.5 the next week. RP 8, increase by 5. RP 7, sorry, my correction, it would be increased by 7.5. And then RP 6.5 or below would be an increment of 10. So the way I'm using the RP, like I previously mentioned, is only for my assistance work. Again, I watched a video of RTS yesterday talking about assistant work, and it seems like I've been applying it well to my training. Kind of assistant movement being a variation of your main movement, but that will help you work on the weak point on your competition lift to be able to help you. So that's what I've been doing. I think I've just spotted my weak point throughout my training footage, and I've been hammering it, and things have been feeling really good, so I'm guessing I'm seeing some progression thanks to hitting those weak points. So every assistant movement, which are basically the last 2 movements every day, because I only do 2-4 movements, and it's hit for pretty high volume, I use kind of this progression based on the RP for that day. So so far all of my assistants I've been able to increase by quite a fair bit. These are for lower assistants, so I've been able to increase them by 10, but things have started to slow down. So talking about that, I kind of wanted to cover a mistake I made last week on my sumo. I accidentally said that my sumo was an RP6 for my last set of 6 on the volume. This week it actually went up to 7, which is fine. But I should have said 6 because I'm staying at 6.5 or below. So it was basically a 6.5 below. It was a 6, but it could have been a 4. So anything below 6.5 I'll just put as 6.5 or below. Just following the chart. I just think it's easier So I'll keep it to that. Yeah, so that was the only mistake I made in last week, and I made sure I didn't make it this week. So coming to front squat, which you're gonna see now. Fortunately, what happened is I did 65 last week. Felt RP below 6.5, so I decided to bump it up by 10 kilos to 75. And did the first set, and then it just felt like it was too challenging. I want to keep those easy, so the RP was too challenging for that movement. So I kind of took it down to 67.5. So what did I do? I did 7 reps at 75. I did 5 reps at 67.5 after to complete that set of 12, and did my other 2 sets of 12 at 67.5. I actually ended up at an RP. Well, I decided to call it 10 because it was like full struggle. I think I kind of missed groove on the last rep, which made it a 10. It could have been like an 8 or a 9. I've decided I'm going to keep the weight the same next week for this week. So that's it. Yeah, just there, see missed groove totally. It just felt like an RP 10. So I've decided that I'll keep it there. So basically, yeah, the conventional deadlift is still going up by 10. High bar is still going up by 10. Front squat is going to stay there. This here, stiff leg, going up by 10 as well. I'm guessing next week by the time actually, sorry. My bad. This was an RP 7, not 6.5. So we're lowering the increment. It's going to be increased by 7.5. So that will be only a 7.5 increment for the stiff leg deadlift. So I think that's it. Oh wait, actually sorry. The last two, the conventional complex and then the high bar complex, which happened on Friday, 2 less accessories. They were both a 9, so these are only going to get up by a 2.5 next week. I think that's it in terms of accessory. I also want to cover the fact that everything that's upper body, and everything that's upper body, so main movements plus system movements, and all main movements for the lower will only go up by 2.5 every single week, whatever the RP. So if the RP is below 9, which is when I increase by 2.5, I will still only increase it by 2.5 because I'm hoping to see a progression throughout a 14-week period, which is very long. So I'd rather take it slow. And hopefully I don't stall on any of those, but if I reach an RP like 10, that's when I'll have to call it. So yeah, I've just been pushing forward. You probably noticed only increased the squat singles, the deadlift singles only increased by 2.5 every week. Every bench movement only increases by 2.5. All the rowing movements only increase by 2.5. Volume squat and deadlift, competition style, but bell lifts, they increase by 2.5. And finally, the weak point kind of competition style only increases by 2.5 as well. So that's been going well. I don't want to increase it faster than that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, expect to see RPs only ranging from 6.5 and below to 10 and never below. My apologies for the last week. Well, apologies for myself, so because you don't really care, but for me, I'd rather keep it that way and follow what the table says. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of program and covering the RP topic. In terms of form, everything has been feeling really good. The only unfortunate part is that I haven't been listening too much to my body, and I did end up getting a little tight on Wednesday. I had a very similar feeling to when I got injured. Because I've seen a physio, I know exactly how to deal with it. I jump on ibuprofen to make sure I don't get completely locked. I do my stretches again. And surprisingly, being able to know my body, I was able to complete my week and hit my Thursday and Friday session. No problem. My Thursday session, I was really cautious. It still felt like a really good day. And Friday was actually the best session, because generally Friday is my worst session because I hit all my weak points. It was the best session out of all week, so I'm really happy, ecstatic to see that I know how to listen to my body and work through something that is not an injury, but know how to differentiate pain and soreness. I've had a little bit of soreness on my lower right glute, which you at the far end there on this video, but that's the only kind of little bug that I've had, but the tightness from Wednesday is all gone. So I've been feeling on top of things and super healthy. So hopefully I'm really careful because I don't want to injure myself. That was just like my body giving me a signal. So I'm back on stretching more often and really keeping things together. And I hope that I stay injury free until my competition. But like I previously mentioned, I've only gotten injured twice in my lifting career. And it was the same, kind of like back completely locking from my glutes locking, so I just need to remember to stretch. But yeah, getting injured twice out of 4 years of lifting, and I think we're getting really close. Yeah, right about 2 years of powerlifting training. Not too bad, I'd say. So I'm pretty happy. So that's pretty much it for this week. I think I covered everything. Yeah, obviously, there's always things to talk about. I always end up rambling for 12 minutes, no problem, because there's always things to change, to improve, things that felt good. Just there's always a topic to cover. Oh yes. Last thing is obviously my footage is very plain, very simple. Just my lifts with an indication of the weight on the bar and how many reps, and then just a basic voiceover. I've this my filming and voiceover style is based on JP Kauki, Australian lifter, because I just love to go back to my footage and just make it simple. I've originally started this for myself, so I haven't made it really uh, subscriber friendly. I guess it's very basic, but you know. In the comments below, just add if you want to see a video for anything specific, nutrition, program related, or anything, just a little bit more about myself. I'm always open-minded to new things. So anyways, we will discuss later next week. Bye-bye!